I'm Sam Elliott from Diversity and my colleague Sean McCluskey here as well. Good to meet everybody this afternoon. So really, as Paul has just teed up there, we wanted to introduce you to the Home Adaptations installer network and give you a little bit of background on it today. What the network is all about, we've been in discussion with Paul and the team at Foundations for quite a while, and I've known Paul probably personally for more than a decade now with some of the work that we do alongside Trustmark, which I'll come on to a little bit later on. But we've been in conversation about this need for and requirement for reliable contractors, registered installers. So the Home Adaptations Installer Network is a network of registered installers ready to undertake adaptation work for DFG work. It's really there to support the three key parties in this relationship. Of course, the residents, applicants, householders, making sure that they have reliable contractors that can do the work. Yourselves as local authorities and having the ability to tap into a network. And of course, the installers as well. As we went round the roadshow, there was a lot of conversation about how do we attract more reliable installers into this space as well, to make sure that we have enough of a supply chain to make sure that things are cost effective as well. So the network is there really to provide reliable contractors. All members are Trustmark registered, so they're assessed and monitored to ensure that they deliver quality workmanship and customer service. And really our overarching aim is to give consumers that confidence in choosing the right contractors to deliver the adaptation work in their homes. As I touched on, it brings together the expertise of our two organisations. So we work for an organisation called Diversity, and alongside Foundations, who I know really well. So I'll just give you a little bit of background on Diversity. We've been around since '99 with a wealth of experience in the construction sector, and for over 25 years, we've worked very closely with manufacturers and organisations to provide a broad range of services between the retail and the trade markets, but the majority of our activity has been focused around the professional installer and applier market, so most notably looking at consumer recommendation schemes and trade accreditation schemes. We are a Trustmark scheme operator. I'll touch on that for anybody who's not as familiar with Trustmark in a few moments' time, and all of our processes are ISO accredited as well. In terms of the types of people we've been working with, you'll recognise some of the brands there, the likes of Etex, Guardian, Dulux, Felix and British Gypsum. But really where our expertise comes in is working with these organisations and manufacturers to help with their accreditation schemes. So looking at scheme processes, the operations manuals, the documentation, management and onboarding process of new members, reassessment and continual monitoring of new members. That's certainly really important, as well as actually what the ongoing monitoring is, not just when you first onboard someone. Scheme operations, so looking at renewals, financial management and all the operations side of things. Customer service operations, both for the member but also end consumer, so that first point of contact and a concierge. We don't like to put too much spotlight on it, but of course there is a complaint mediation service. Because of the rigour that goes into everything else, the complaint levels across our different services are extremely low, but of course there are occasions where things go wrong, and therefore we're on hand to provide that mediation, and also scheme communications for both installer and consumer to help manage expectations so people know what is expected and what's going to be delivered. We've been in conversation with Foundation now over the last 18 months, so I've known Paul for probably the best part of a decade now, but certainly talking in this space around the challenges for DFGs and where our collective expertise can come together to support the market. And we've created this partnership to deliver the Home Adaptations Installer Network. Website's in the final stages of development, and we'll have some great search functionality to find reliable contractors, aiming for a launch in January 2025. In terms of Trustmark, a little bit of background on Trustmark. It's the only government-endorsed quality scheme for work carried out in or around the home. So when a consumer chooses a Trustmark registered business, they're engaged with an organisation that's been thoroughly vetted to meet standards and also has a commitment to great customer service. So that will give the confidence to yourselves, to your clients, to your residents, your applicants, in the members of the Home Adaptations Installer Network. Now, the way Trustmark works, they don't do assessments themselves. They have registered scheme operators like ourselves who are licensed to carry out the assessment within their certain expertise as well. So again, what we have is we have our licensing through Trustmark, so that gives that third-party accreditation of the work we're doing, of the checks we're putting in place, and making sure they are industry best standard, looking across the industry at different scheme operators and making sure that we're all delivering that high level of work out to the consumer market. In terms of vetting, I won't go too much into detail on this, but beyond just the workmanship assessment, there is a comprehensive vetting, including things such as financial checks, so credit checks, looking for adverse credit or CCJs. Whilst in this space, the contractors may not be providing credit, it shows pattern of business practices, understanding of consumer complaints, and how reliable that business is from a business perspective. Whether they've got the appropriate insurances to be carrying out the work that they're carrying out. So understanding what the employer's liability, what the public liability insurance is, and making sure that we've got copies of those documents to make sure we've got the evidence that those are in place. Looking at consumer reviews, so looking beyond their application out to review sites to understand what people are saying on social media or review sites, to understand what consumer feedback is on the work that they're carrying out. Within this as well, looking at references and inspections, so documentation checks, looking at the quotations, invoices they're providing, they're clear and easy for homeowners to understand. Is all the correct company information on there? Is it really clear what is and isn't inside and outside of scope for whatever is being quoted up? So as the project goes on, there's no hidden costs, there's no surprises as the project goes through. It's very clear what's being promised. Installation guarantee, so is what they're offering fair and appropriate for consumer protection. Insurance back guarantees, so are they currently providing them? And if so, having a look at those and obtaining copies for evidence and proof that they're providing those. And any qualification membership, so if someone says that they have a membership to Fencer or to FNB or to Trustmark already, then going and checking those are actively live and looking at the references within those as well and looking at the ratings within those. Going through and looking at things on the application such as directors checks to understand, the businesses the director may have been involved in previously, DBS checks, and retaining all this information on our CRM system with those ongoing checks to ensure that everything is up to date. The important bit as well within this, and Paul touched on it as well, is the installer code of practice. So as part of that onboarding process for a contractor, taking them through and explaining to them our expectations of the code of practice, which is a document that is available to anybody engaging with the network to understand what the consumer promise is from contractors. So what they can expect in terms of quotation, best practice, clarity of works, customer service and conduct working with vulnerable customers, health and safety declaration, insurances, DBS checks, complaint handling, any removals from the scheme, should that be required as well. So going through and talking about what the process and the systems are for retaining quality within the scheme. This is currently, I would say, 99% complete, the code of practice, with the work that we've done, but we are engaging with authorities to make sure that this fully meets your needs. So if anybody does want to give any feedback on this or feed any of your specific requirements into it, would absolutely welcome those conversations as well. The vision really is to be able to have installer skills detailed out on the site so consumers can find the best person for the job, and the installers organised by the different services they're accredited for, very easily searchable on the website, allowing for filtering of installer results. And as the scheme grows, the plan will be to start gathering feedback from applicants, residents who have had work done, but also from local authorities, feeding in to people's profiles on the site. So we expect to launch this probably summer 2025, when we have enough meaningful results and feedback into this to start to give a flavour and an understanding of the work that different contractors are providing out. But this again will allow people to, when they're trying to select a contractor, be able to see the work that they've done previously and understand the customer satisfaction levels. Once a contractor has passed the thorough vetting process, they'll get their certificate of membership, and all vetted customer-facing installers will receive a network ID card. These are renewed annually, so therefore you will know as someone is going to someone's property that they're a registered member of the scheme, and that the date of that as well and when that runs out. Listed on the Home Adaptations Installer Network website and also Trustmark website for the ability to search, view the profiles as I touched on, as we start to bring in the feedback loop as well, start to look at ratings and reviews. And during membership, contracts are monitored to ensure continued compliance and are removed or suspended from the scheme if they no longer meet the required standards. In terms of benefits to the network, from a local authority's perspective, you know that someone will have undertaken a business and workmanship assessment to get their accreditation. 2-year insurance back guarantees for works over £500 and a 2-year workmanship guarantee on all work carried out. During their tenure, we conduct ongoing monitoring and regular reassessments. And on the rare occasion that there is an issue with the job, our team are on hand to support in the resolution and mediation of that. So we have the mediation service to support customers. If we're unable to reach a conclusion, customers have the ability to escalate to Trustmark Dispute Resolution Ombudsman to resolve it as well. So there are those 2 tiers of support to resolve any issues on the rare occasion they come up. For a householder, very similar to local authority, we have a source of reputable tradespeople to undertake home adaptation work. They undergo rigorous business and workmanship assessments before being accredited, regular monitoring for continual delivery of quality work, and members will provide to you 2-year guarantee on the workmanship, 2-year insurance back guarantee for works over £500. If things go wrong, we're on hand for this third-party complaint mediation and access to a dispute ombudsman as well. And obviously the final part in this is as well is for contractors. Well, as part of this, you become Trustmark registered as well, so that really underlines the commitment to quality workmanship and customer service your business provides. The government-backed accreditation can be used to promote work for home adaptations, but also core reassurance for consumers looking for a reliable contractor outside of the DFG space as well. So if they're working in, let's say, private work as well, they have the ability to use these to promote their business. So they're promoted on the national database of contractors for DFG work. Business profile on Trustmark, so over 135,000 consumers search that each year. Able to use the Hain and the Trustmark logos on their promotional materials, preferential rates for LABC building control for non-DFG work, and a full range of member benefits as well. So it's not just about promotion out in these areas, but it is the full range of benefits such as AA discounts, tool hire discounts, fuel cards. So it is a full benefit service that helps to support their business beyond just the securing of new work. The website, as I say, is in the latter stages of development. So as it looks at the moment, 3 core areas. One for local authorities, which talks about benefits, the checks we undertake, and how we can support your residents. One for householders that front and centre is very much about the search functionality, helping them find people either by postcode search and just typing in, or alternatively looking at the adaptation type and they can select through there, and then talking about the benefits and how we work alongside local authorities to support and deliver on these things. And then for installers, talking about why join, the benefits of joining, but also the important thing is actually the requirements and the expectations as well as being part of this, and the government endorsed Trustmark quality as well. In terms of next steps, we've been doing the roadshows and looking kind of at a phased launch. And I say we're aiming to launch in January 2025 because that is still going through the consultation to work alongside local authorities just to make sure we have this absolutely right to meet your needs. We are working with some authorities at the moment to help with the gap analysis for any existing contracts they've got, to understand what they're currently assessing and what we would be assessing in addition to be part of Hain, and the ability then to convert people over if required, and conversations with installers who are interested in working in this space as well, both from existing databases but also prospective applicants as well who want to understand and learn more about this space, and with a viewpoint January 2025 launch of the online search functionality on the website. Next steps, really, as I say, we talk about this public launch date. Over the next few months, we're working with authorities and contractors to finalise details of the service, make sure it is tailored to meet everyone's needs. So we've been doing a lot of work with the team at Foundations on this, so we're fairly confident we're 95% of the way there. But if you want to kind of be supporting and involved in this, opportunity to have a consultation call with ourselves to review the service, talk through what we're planning, and provide any feedback and guidance. Happy to look at any existing installer relationships and give that gap analysis in terms of the things that we check as part of Trustmark and Hain membership, and wider discussions about ways of working and how we could support and how you would benefit support from the home adaptation installer network. And I think that rounds it off for ourselves.